everyone. This is Ellie of Herbcraft by Ellie Apothecary. Welcome into another tarot quest. My readings tend to go long, they go deep. I make short form versions of separate messages within the long form message. So if you'd like to get easy access to that, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I do appreciate it when you hit the like button too, or engage in the community. If the shuffling is too loud, lower your volume or take off headphones. If you would like to know the music playlist, it's called Feel Good. My Spotify profile is with other links in the description box. I'm here with a collective message. I was taking a few days off and Spirit's been nagging at me since yesterday morning. I don't know. You know, you got to learn how to stay in balance even with the things you are passionate about. And I needed more self-care, so that is exactly what I did. And I wasn't really planning on being here today either, but there's some kind of persistent message that wants to come out. If you do subscribe and you hit the like button, your energy comes in stronger in my readings. I'm a professional astrologer as well, so I use a lot of astrology talk to help you understand energies, not necessarily people. I don't tend to do love readings, but sometimes Spirit will draw them out of me. I just do them a little differently. So if that comes up, it comes up. But I don't get stuck in drama or karmic energies because I believe this is about our soul's growth and our evolution, and I'm building a community. So, as I say that, a card just flies across. One moment. Six of Cups. Oh boy. Okay. I'm working with the Cosmic Tarot, per usual. Remember that there might be multiple messages within this message, so not everything might ring true to you. If that's the case, you know, just note it and hang in till something does. You can also always save this reading to take it in doses to watch later, listen, whatever you want to say. So I guess I'll keep the Six of Cups. I do announce all cards. That way you can follow along if you know how to read cards. Gender is non-specific. Again, just reading the cards. Apply it where it fits in your life. We all have every energy. If you're feeling generous, I do have a tip and donation links in the description box. Anyways, Six of Cups. This could be about a childhood love, soulmate love, love from the past, creative projects you used to work on, nostalgia. Let's see what else we got here. Five of Pentacles. I did not do a pre-read, so this is off the cuff, like most things in life that I do. And the Two of Cups. My goodness. Well, this is interesting. Before we get further into this reading, which could be a love reading, and I prefer to stick to like talking about spiritual topics, so if it is, we'll keep it a higher octave the best we can. But before we get into this message, it could be about something else, alright? So I'll take a deep breath, and I'm going to ring my bell after our breath. Deep breath in. Out. Alright, we are cleansed and cleared and ready to enter this reading for real. Five of Wands, Death card in reverse, Six of Swords. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Princess or Page of Swords. Okay, let's dive in. This looks like a choice to me. Someone's watching right now, thinking about what hasn't been a good investment for them. It seems that, again, this may not apply to everybody, so take what resonates, but it seems that somebody in the collective, or somebody's, y'all have been fighting for something from the past. I didn't want to say it, but this does seem like a love reading, so if you don't want that, maybe catch my last reading. I think it was 7-7 Angel. I link all the collective readings in the playlist at the end of the video, also the description box, so yeah, I hope you'll check out my other work. Again, this could be about friendship, this could be about family values, this could be about finding balance with how you create, but I'm feeling a strong pull towards love, and this could again just be a separate message. So alright, so for some of you, the Six of Cups with the Five of Wands, that's an old love that you have fought for. Perhaps it wasn't something that brought you a lot of joy, or that you could really go too deep with or go too far with the Five of Pentacles. There seemed to be some kind of lack mindset that needed to change. And from two potentials here, it could either be a change to bringing a higher love and more peace with this person from the past. Could have been something that you really struggled with, or you both struggled with in the relationship. And it's like you really wanted this deep union that really brought you a lot of peace. And you have been fighting for it with the Five of Wands and the Five Pentacles. 5-5 with the Death card, that's 3 signals of change as far as synchronicities. 5-5 is transformation, change. It's also all the elements halfway to a goal. So it's like maybe you kept feeling like you got stuck over and over and over again, just wanting peace. And at some point you decided to stop investing in whatever this was. It's possible you're still in a waiting, watching phase. Ooh, but this hasn't made you very happy with the Sun in reverse. I don't think you've been able to see or think clearly. Yeah, Six of Pentacles on top of the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. It's like you had to take a step back because, you know, 6 is before 7. In no longer investing, you had to take a step back and find another form of balance. Now we have synchronistic numbers 6-6 here. 6 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles. Just getting some tea. Anybody got any snacks or tea or coffee you're drinking? Feel free to leave a comment on how you like to kick back. Ten of Wands, well, that's not kicking back. That's a huge burden on top of the Six of Pentacles, and then the Seven of Swords in reverse. Now we have 7-7. Wow, I see a progression here. I also see mirroring somehow, because the numbers are mirroring each other. 5-5, 6-6, 7-7. And they're coming out in progression. So this is a huge progression you have been making for a while. It's a huge burden. And you've already walked away from something, at least in your mind. I say mind because swords are mental energy. And Seven of Swords is known as the ghosting card. It's also possible for some of you that you can't walk away because of the burdens, maybe possible obligations. And you're trying to like balance some things before you can release these burdens and walk away. So that's for some of you. Strength in reverse on top of the Six of Cups and Five of Wands. So competing for this love has like kind of affected your confidence. Especially if it put you into a lack mindset, made you feel like you can't change maybe. Prince of Cups on top of the Five Pentacles and the Death in reverse. Prince of Cups. That's the Knight of Cups. That's usually the knight that wants to come in with a big love offer, something serious, or a creative project. It could also be like for some of you an escalation from being friends to being romantic with somebody. It's possible this motivated you to look at where you were lacking and where you were unable to change, or how you wanted to change, what you wanted to accomplish balance with, and all this underneath the Two of Cups. So it's either like this concept of an ultimate divine union with a soulmate, a higher level soulmate. Okay, Spirit. King of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Eight of Pentacles also, and the Ace of Pentacles. I'm going to take all three of those on top of the Two of Cups. Whatever this concept, or it could be another person, it could be another soulmate possibly, does make you feel very courageous, makes you want to lead, but you haven't been able to work on what it is that you want to work on that'll bring you peace. But you want to offer something huge here with the Ace of Pentacles, or you're coming into like a lot of abundance, and abundance could be anything. But Ace of Pentacles is usually a gift from Spirit. It's a graduation of finances, of well-being, like it's overcoming health obstacles. Some of you've always embodied this King of Wands energy, this like fierce, strong, loyal, determined person, but what's happened in the past has made it difficult for you to work on what brings you great abundance. So it's possible that there were roadblocks in the way, or lack of motivation to work on the things that you know make you feel abundant. And abundance, I mean, let's think about that. That's first thing people think is money, right? Good money. Let's always remember when we're setting intentions, folks, when we talk about abundance, that we state that it is positive abundance. That's important for some, Because you could wish for an abundance of great food, and you could get an abundance of delicious food, and then you could have an abundant booty to go with it. And there is nothing wrong with that, let me tell you. However, you get my point. It's a really bad joke. You know, like, it's also an abundance of love. It's an abundance of good health, like I said. Perhaps you are a really healthy person, and for some of you, this person in the past was not. They didn't really have anything they were working towards. Nine of Wands. That's the Wounded Warrior card. That's somebody who's been through a very long battle, and it's a step back from the Ten of Wands, which we got here. Could be whoever you were involved with was wounded all the time. Maybe you couldn't focus on your dreams because you had to take care of them. Maybe it created a bit of a codependent dynamic. That's for some. I'm a very direct reader, so I'm also a psychic medium empath, so I pick up on energy, and I'm a seer, which means I know things. I have claircognizance, so I don't know how I know things, I just know things. So if you aren't prepared to potentially be activated in some of my readings, I suppose there's a disclaimer for you, okay? Yeah, so I just confirmed what I was saying. Now we have a progression forward again, but in reverse. So we had the Eight of Pentacles and then the Nine of Wands on top of that. Now we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, this is or was somebody who wasn't very independent. They weren't very stable, especially financially. Possibly they relied heavily on you, possibly wore you out, and this is part of the burden. And, you know, we love the ones we love, right? But there's a certain point where, and yeah, I'm seeing Queen of Pentacles on the bottom here. I think that represents you, the Queen of Pentacles. I think you've been a stable, nurturing force to whoever this person is. And you've been a very caring person, and you've invested a lot. So it's like, it seems like, and also over here with the Five of Wands, it's like you fought for it. Possibly had a lot of things in your life not progress necessarily to your full potential. Wow, the Lovers. Yeah, I knew this was going to be about love when the Six of Cups and the Two of Cups, and now we have the Lovers. You want a deep, soulful connection. You want an equal, because Gemini is represented by the Lovers card. It's the twins. It also represents a choice, being the choice. Also union with the both divine masculine and divine feminine parts of ourselves and each other. Or it's being in union with somebody that makes you feel in balance with yourself. And if you have been somebody who's invested in this person or people, a certain type of kind of needy individuals, it's possible you haven't been in balance with yourself. And underneath this here, you know, we do have the Six of Swords, which is coming into more peaceful territory, right? And I'm really glad, I mean, right now so far we don't have like the Eight of Swords or the Nine of Swords or Ten of Swords, so you're not mentally torn up over this. I think you're just kind of watching and waiting. But again, this isn't making you very happy with the Sun in reverse. Yeah, I see the Ace of Cups in reverse now. And again, any aces are like a huge offer from Spirit. So like you really don't feel like you have any love you can truly offer. So you are sitting back. And I don't know what this offer is towards. Again, the Two of Cups up here could represent another person, a different soulmate, a deep soul love. I give spiritual guidance. I try not to pass judgments, so I do use discernment with what I talk about here. Remember that we all make our own decisions and we all decide what is true for us. Interesting. Some of the cards try to fly away, and it was the Prince of Cups, and it was upright before, and then it flipped upside down. So this is about like suddenly taking your cup away from something that you wanted to offer love to. Maybe you started to be really passionate about something or somebody. I say something because the creative project influence here. Maybe you felt like it wasn't the right time to invest in it because you have to think about what makes you happy here with the Princess of Swords and the Sun in reverse, with the Ace of Cups in reverse on top of that. Wheel of Fortune. Destiny makes you happy. Following your destiny, following your path, following what you know lights you up inside, what creative projects you want to work on, what kind of union you want to have in the future. And I say union, I just mean partnership, and of course that limits us to a very monogamous type of person. There are other kinds of people out there. Yeah, and as I say that, the Hierophant in reverse. So there are other people out there who don't agree with marriage, and I don't usually read the Hierophant as marriage like other readers, but in this case I think it goes perfectly with what I was saying, is not everybody wants to be with just one person, whether that's like they don't want to settle down and have a long-term relationship, or they prefer to be more open. I've known people of all walks of life, so I have a bigger perspective. No, I'm not going to talk about my preferences on this YouTube video. Anyways, so I think really, if you're coming out of being the sole support for somebody, whatever that meant for you, in whatever union, and again, it could be a friendship, that it could be a long-term friend you lived with, it could be somebody you worked on a creative project with that you were deeply entangled with, possibly a childhood friend. Again, it doesn't have to be a lover from your childhood or like a childhood. It could also represent somebody that brings out your inner child in a more positive way. So it's like whoever or whatever this was, it did bring you great joy at one point, but it seems that it was a karmic cycle, because the Wheel of Fortune also represents karma. It represents changing the wheel of time, your fortune. This is upright, so it's like you've got great fortune you're walking towards here. For some of you, I'm just gonna say it. Some of you are still in a relationship and looking to end your partnership, with the Hierophant in reverse over the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, and I just pulled the Queen of Wands. Maybe it has something to do with desire. I don't want to go too deep into that because that's kind of veering into personal reading territory. I do offer those. I can do an audio recording, or I can do a over the phone reading. Over the phone's great if you want to mix in an astrology reading with that too. Yeah, Princess of Wands, a new quest, and that just went over the Prince of Cups. Something new has you fired up. And you haven't felt this kind of desire in a very long time. And this could be a new spiritual journey. This could be, for some of you, a younger person. Wow, Ten of Swords in reverse. With the Hermit in reverse. This is a separate energy coming in here, and I feel like this has to do with the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a side message, I suppose. If somebody wants to speak up about it, because I had to clear my throat there. Someone is already past. For some of you, this is a past energy that I'm describing. This whole process, like maybe it's something from the past, some kind of betrayal, and the Hermit in reverse is being seen for it. So that was part of somebody's karmic past. Yeah, King of Cups. It had to do with like falling in love and like wanting a deep love and feeling depth in your soul that wasn't recognized before. Maybe you felt like you were betraying yourself by not being able to fully express your love in some way. Yeah, Justice in reverse. This wasn't fair, it wasn't balanced, and I'm not saying whether it was you towards somebody or somebody towards you, or each apply it again how it fits, because it could be multiple different situations. This is a collective reading. But Justice in reverse means this is something somebody has already paid for, in a sense. Or some of you, the scales of justice are about to be corrected. Again, no judgment, but just saying, like, you know, we have to reap what we sow, right? And when you're being true to yourself, you can be true to others. And maybe that's something you're realizing that makes you want to strive for a higher union, a higher love, because deep down inside you know that's how you actually want to love. Yeah. Queen of Cups, right next to the King of Cups. Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. It's possible the people you were with before, the projects you used to work on, or the friendships you used to have were not filling your cup, and you have an idea of what or who you want to love now. And it's this Queen of Cups. It is an unconditionally loving, nurturing, creative, emotionally deep energy. And again, that could be coming into union with a piece of yourself. I have to say, I felt this like subtle, really nervous energy. One, because it's partially me. I don't want to poke the bear too much. I am trying to keep that in mind. But I feel like someone is very timid about this. Somebody is very nervous about either these new experiences, feelings, realizations. Maybe you're not comfortable so much, but you really, really want it. You really, really want it. This could be your Ace of Pentacles. Whoa, and the deck almost just fell out of my hands. Hangman in reverse. So yeah, you just had a perspective change about something. Whatever you put a pause on before, it seems that that's coming up. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, Magician. You want to manifest the reality that you want to live. Maybe you know how to do that now and you didn't. Yeah, Four of Wands in reverse. ending something that used to be a stable foundation, or something is no longer a stable foundation. Queen of Swords in reverse. That's interesting, because this Queen of Swords has like the Lover's motif in the background behind the Queen. The same artwork almost that's on the Lover's card here. Someone's cutting out some kind of injustice in their life, and they're being very sharp about it. And now the Queen of Swords is known to be a queen that has gone through some life experience, right? Who knows how to use her sword to cut out BS, but also finds a way to be compassionate about it. In reverse means there's none of that. In fact, sometimes it can be somebody who's a little harsh with their words. We'll put it that way. So be careful with that, whether you're experiencing that or you're doing that to yourself or you're doing it to others. Either way, it's not balanced. It's going to knock you out of harmony. This can also represent the truth and justice, so like possibly secrets being revealed, and it's possible you manifested this yourself, whatever that may mean for you. Whatever that may mean for you, okay? Because the Magician here upright is creating your own reality. If we get the Tower card, I'm just gonna, I don't know. No, but 8 of Wands. Huh. Communicating something very quickly. Moving towards something very quickly. Traveling. Like you're trying to manifest something really quick, which is interesting. For victory and success with the 6 of Wands. I think that's the side message for some. I like to bring it back in here. Let's bring it back here to the Princess of Swords with the Sun in reverse and the Ace of Cups. We see this has been a karmic cycle. You've realized some deep love here. Yeah, 9 of Cups just came out. That's deep wish fulfillment. That is personal wish fulfillment. Something that really brings you a lot of love. This particular deck, it is a couple on it, and it is very sweet. Very sweet. I was going to ask like some advice here for this group with, because it's like we got the Queen of Cups next to the King of Cups, which by the way, that is a divine counterpart. Meaning that it is a higher love. It is a match. If this represents a particular person, or you know, these aspects of yourself coming into union with yourself. Or it could be like two people who are really great in the creative field coming together to partner on something. So again, it doesn't have to be about love, but I feel like for the bulk of you, it is. I'm going to work with the Herbcrafters Tarot now. Spirit, if you can give the part of the collective here any advice as far as how to proceed in this new King of Cups energy, whether it's towards a person, a project, a way of life, maybe new emotional expressions. Even though the King of Cups is not typically outwardly expressive with their emotions, they do experience them deeply. And usually those that they are most intimate with get to experience that part of who they are. So let's see, any advice for this part of the collective? And I'm getting chills on my arms, so that was significant for someone. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting, because we had the 6 of Pentacles for this other group over here. Something is not in balance when it comes to equal give and take. It could also have to do with generosity. Four of Swords. Maybe you need to heal some kind of wounds within you as far as equal give and take. Meditate on ways that you feel like you've given too much. And remember that while, yes, you could say, oh, I did this and this and this and this and this for somebody, you have to ask why. If it depleted you, you also have to take accountability and at some point realize that your overgiving was codependent as well. That's for somebody. Yeah, Four of Cups. Now we have 4-4. That could be a synchronistic number. Wait, that means now we have 4-4, 5-5, 6-6, 7-7. 4, 5, 6, 7 could be significant, a synchronicity. 45 could, 67 could. Five of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you definitely need to think about your emotional foundation, how things that used to put you in deep regret, this could possibly have to do with how you were not able to give equally or receive equally, or yeah, this is the truth. Ace of Swords, represented by the yarrow plant. That's important. Look up the properties of yarrow medicinally and magically. Oh yeah, if you like woo-woo, you're gonna love my stuff. My business tagline is from the mundane to the mystical. Haya of Earth, so that in reverse, that's a Page of Pentacles in reverse. Don't start a new project or new relationship or business investment yet. If you're thinking of offering your cup to something, whatever it is, the cards, and I'm reading the cards, so when I say I suggest, it's spirit and, you know, any experience my soul is bringing up for the reading as a guide. The Four of Cups can be, fours represent foundation, right? It seems that you really need to meditate on what is kind of boring to you, like maybe ways that you haven't seen what you've had to offer. For some of you, that's a side message. Yeah, 10 of Swords. It's time to cut out the things that have sabotaged you, that have wounded you mentally. Things that you've really had to battle over. I mean, you're over these things, but they linger here. In this Four of Cups, it can almost be like you're really just, it's not the Seven of Cups where there's too many options, but it's like you're at a standstill here. You're not paying attention to something. It has to do with grieving some truths before you can start building something new, because you're still overcoming some kind of anguish, some kind of battle, some kind of mental conflict, some kind of way of thinking. So that's for that group, okay? I definitely focus on what you consider, if you're, yeah, what you consider equal give and take, and maybe, and that doesn't have to represent materialism, right? Even though it's a pentacle, it could represent how you physically give to others or how you receive. Because you got to ask yourself, if you are an overgiver, for some of you, you are, especially with that King of Cups energy. How have you sabotaged yourself with the Ten of Swords over here again? in not receiving the love that you desire. I think that's something important for you to think about. And I think that once you figure out what truly makes you feel balanced within yourself, like, okay, I know that I do too much of this, or I know I don't do enough of that. Like, do I want to be this, or do I need to be with somebody who complements that aspect of me? What would complement that aspect of me? Is there anything I can do for myself that's going to bring about that characteristic, so I'm not looking for it or projecting it onto other people, into other people in future relationships, right? This is how you find your truth with the Ace of Swords. It's also how you finally put an end to like feeling this hopeless sadness and regret with the Five of Cups in reverse. That can represent either coming out of that feeling or being really, 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 really stuck in it, which means you definitely can't go towards a Queen of Cups energy, whatever that is, until you face this. And meditation can really help you come into balance. Also, a practice of gratitude. Be grateful, because even when we have a lot of things, remember, it's important to remember when we haven't. Not to dwell on the past, but to see how far we've come and to celebrate that, right? Four of Wands in reverse, which we got earlier, is also not having anything to celebrate in life, because they can represent celebrations, not just ceremonies and weddings and houses and marriages and all that, but they can represent just having a reason to celebrate in life. And that would be 444 on the cards, by the way, another synchronicity. So I just pulled the Knight of Wands card, Adelita of Fire, represented by Cayenne. Let me tell you, Cayenne will get your metabolism going, that's for sure. You want to move really quickly towards something with a lot of passion. But I'm telling you, as hard as it may be, sit your ass down and sit still and think about these things. Don't bypass them. That's how you accomplish the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups within yourself, is you go deep within yourself and you think about things. Okay? Yeah, Ace of Cups up right now. So we just transmuted that energy. That is going to make it to where you can offer your cup of love, or have that kind of divine love to offer, or start a new creative project, and possibly with a Queen of Cups motif. All right, let's go over to this other group here. So I feel like that was kind of interweaving a lot of the different groups. We've got at least 3 here. I think I'd like to give some advice here, spiritual guidance. When I say advice, it's not medical, mental health advice. I'm an advocate, but I'm not a professional. I do have a disclaimer in the description box, so remember to always use your discernment, okay? But, wow, moon in reverse. Okay, so I wanted to read over here on this group that is headed towards this type of union, which kind of ties to what we just talked about. So some of you may still resonate with this. The groups overlap, okay? So this is for somebody who once isn't a Knight of Cups energy. They want to come towards, they are actually also, there's a King of Wands energy here too. So we have a Knight of Cups and a King of Wands. And then we also have a Queen of Pentacles. So we actually have 3 other personality types potentially in this. Some of you have always been focused on giving your cup of love to somebody or something. Some of you have always been focused on leading in your field, taking action, getting things done, possibly already having a spiritual path. Yeah, you guys aren't going to believe this. I just pulled from my other deck, and it's the Curandera of Fire, which is the King of Wands. So double confirmation, 2 King of Wands right there. You are already a spiritual leader in your own right, whoever you are, and that could be many people, but That's some powerful energy right there. Wow. I'm just gonna sit with that for a second. Why don't y'all drop a star in the comments if you're still hanging in. I really appreciate it. And so does the algorithm. You know, it supports my work. I am building a community here. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Heavy on the Leo energy, like possibly a Leo stellium or a double Leo. And I don't usually read signs, but that's coming in very strong. Whew. New journey here, huh? With the Fool. Taking a leap of faith. I think for this particular person that has just started to dominate the energy, hello, you're going towards your Queen of Pentacles. So this Queen of Pentacles, this third personality I was picking up on, was not necessarily a separate part of the collective, yet it could be. But possibly you really want to charge towards this Queen of Pentacles. Once you think about who that might be for you, just lighting some incense here. Someone who is stable, strong, nurturing, likes beautiful things, but it's not in reverse, so they're not like super materialistic, but they're grounded, they're stable, they've got something, some kind of status in their life. And you as a king, you definitely have status and recognition, and you are very good at what you do and also possibly highly attractive. Adelita of Water in reverse. So that's the Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay, so for some of you, it's not about love. It's not about going after a person. This new adventure could be maybe stabilizing the more feminine principles in your nature, especially with the double King of Wands, like heavy on the fire. Heavy on the taking action. Maybe you're learning how to kind of slow down a little with the Queen of Pentacles. You're learning how to kind of pace yourself a little more and go inward and receive and not take action all the time. That's for somebody. As for those of you that are represented by the Queen of Pentacles, it's possible in your past you have experienced people who have not made you a priority. Yeah, I just pulled the Two of Earth or Two of Pentacles. It's possible some people have juggled you in your life. I feel like I've gone from speaking to more divine masculine energies to now speaking to a smaller divine feminine part of the collective. And again, it doesn't matter how you present. It's about energy. It's about receptivity versus activity. Masculine go-getters, feminine receivers. And we all go through different phases in our lives. So it could be a very feminine, masculine as well, who's possibly in this opposite role of learning how to be the King of Wands archetype. And maybe you've overdone it on the masculinity with the double fires, the double King of Wands here. It's possible you may have overcompensated a little and it's made you feel like a fool. That's for somebody, and I'm sorry, that was spirit, that was kind of mean. I I take accountability for what I say, but like they wanted me to say it. I was like, I don't know about this. Somebody needed to hear it. Maybe you're really fierce and don't usually have people stand up to you. I'm getting that for some of you. So like I'm definitely somebody who can do that. So yeah, just check your attitude and maybe see if it fits. If it doesn't, then don't get mad. Let it go. So, regardless of which representation of the King of Wands, see what your advice is. It's also that this could represent a person for the Queen of Pentacles. But I want to tap into this King of Wands energy first. Justice. Justice. The Nine of Cups. Interesting. Maybe you want to give somebody justice and fulfill their personal wish fulfillment. Ten of Cups in reverse. It's not for you, it's for them. Perhaps you have a way to help somebody and create more stability in their life. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Now we have 10-10 and they're both in reverse. Ace of Wands in reverse. With the Judgment card, Awakenings. I feel like that's a side message for somebody, and I'm going to move away from this quickly. In fact, one moment, I'm going to ring my bell. Some clearing was necessary. Whoever is represented by the King of Wands energy, no matter which of the King of Wands energies you represent, definitely cleanse yourself after this reading, because something is trying to attach to you. And I don't say that to scare anybody. So, like, just know, if you know, you know. If you don't worry about it. It's not for you. But those of you that know, who are spiritual practitioners, cleanse thyself. Yeah, because the Queen of Swords and then the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So, for some of you, a very, very small amount. And again, do not get caught up in narratives that do not have to do with you. Okay, I'm going to channel a little bit into this and then we're going to move on. Okay. This is not easy energy to navigate. I'm just going to let you know that, so bear with me here. For some of you, you focused on your journey so hard because things that used to make you feel fair and balanced, that used to fill your cup, no longer make you happy. In fact, you feel like you've lost a lot, that you haven't been able to have any hot new beginnings. It's turned you into this Queen of Swords, very stoic, keep to yourself kind of person, and in the middle of all that, you had an awakening. You had a spiritual evolution. You had a dark night of the soul. You went through some massive cycles and conclusions, and the Wheel of Fortune card in reverse, you could have possibly lost it all. I don't know how you lost it all. And again, if this hasn't happened to you, it's not your message, okay? So knock it off with the fear response. Check your fears, calm your nervous system. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Deep breath. Whoever this is for knows what I'm talking about, okay? Some of you may have even physically lost people, a family, and everything you owned. I don't know if that means permanence or just relocation, if you catch my drift. But whatever it was, it made you in a position where you could not create at all. And with the Ace of Wands, that's the King of Wands' new beginning. You haven't had a new beginning in a long time. And whatever happened here has made you kind of a hard person, someone who's not very readable, who values intellectualism over emotional expression. And this is something that you may have learned in your spiritual awakening. And it was a karmic cycle. It's something that you have carried from your past. It may have not been this lifetime, it may have been other lifetimes. But this would also explain the forceful, fiery energy for the double King of Wands energy. You like really went hard at life. Possibly were, I mean, you knew what you were doing because you're a king. You weren't the Knight of Wands, but there was possibly some devastation and chaos in your wake before you hit this path, this new path. Maybe that's why you want to give back to this Queen of Pentacles figure for some of you. Let's kind of pull out of this energy here. Yeah. Three of Swords. This is about heartbreak, betrayal. Maybe you want to right a wrong that you did. And, you know, if you have wreaked chaos and you want to right a wrong, then I say good job. I mean, look, I empathize with people who have suffered at the hands of other people because I myself have suffered, but I also have a higher perspective and am channeling spirit. And spirit believes in unconditional love and forgiveness. That doesn't mean accept harm or let anybody back into your life if they have caused you harm. For some of you, you are this Queen of Pentacles where you've had to work to become very stable after experiencing such a forceful individual. So either way you look at it, it's heartbreak, right? Heartbreak is heartbreak. But somebody here, or lots of somebodies, has had an awakening, either to your behavior or an actual spiritual journey. I would emphasize strongly on a spiritual awakening if you identify with the King of Wands energy. If you are a Queen of Pentacles, it seems like you're also kind of juggling life, trying to figure out what does make you stable. Because if it's connected to this energy of the King of Wands, if you are, I hope you're staying with me because this is a lot of different timelines for me to process. All right. If you are the Queen of Pentacles here, whatever devastation you experienced here with this heartbreak, you had to start over. It hasn't felt fair. And it's been a life, death, rebirth process. It's been an awakening for yourself, possibly on how people try to like control how you acted in the past. Yeah, Temperance card. So, you know, you're trying to find balance in your equilibrium. You're trying to have patience as you rebuild your life. This has been a tower. Yeah, the tower just came out. This has been a huge change. It was most likely forced change. Wow. And now you're trying to have a perspective change about something with the Hanged One or the Hanged Man. You are in deep reflection and meditation over this. I think that applies to everybody. Everybody here is looking at their perspectives of life. I mean, that's why we get spiritual guidance, right? Strength in reverse. We got that at the beginning of the reading as well. So this is about courage for everybody. Across the board, that's the one message we can have here is how do we find our strength to give love again? Whatever our heartbreak may be, how do we give strength? Let's ask Spirit, how do we give strength to ourselves and others? The Magician. Well, that's all about creating your reality with your thoughts, folks. That's all about looking at how you are of service to others and of service to yourself with the Virgoan aspects of the Magician card, because it's ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo. And I rarely hear people talking about the Virgo aspects of the Magician, but since we have this Queen of Pentacles figure right here, it very much applies. Could be a Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Mars placement in your chart. Very strong. For some of you, for the feminines, I'm sensing. But it's like you have to focus on the inside either way across the board here. It's to look at your mind, look at how you create, how you make love, how you express, how you take action. I mean, the elements are pretty even across the board here. And I feel like we've come so far from just a love reading. I really do feel like that might have been a separate message for some, and I will clip it in a separate video for y'all. Feel free to go back and watch it again. I get multiple different signs and synchronicities if I go back and listen to a message again. Not just my own content, but other respected readers I follow for spiritual guidance myself. What happens is your vibration is different when you listen to things a different time. And you can pick up on things that are on a higher vibration that maybe you didn't before. They will resonate and you will gain a higher perspective. Like the hanged one here, the hanged man, right? This can make you feel strong when you understand things from different perspectives. And then I get the World card when I split the deck here. This is how you end that cycle and fully step into your new chapter. This is huge beginnings and endings for a lot of you. And I got the Hermit card in reverse on the other side of the deck, so it is about coming out of hermit mode after you've had this perspective change. And sometimes that can also represent epiphanies or receiving spiritual wisdom. For some of you, especially with this double King of Wands energy, that could represent an epic spiritual quest. Not just like an actual awakening, but like possibly going on a spiritual retreat. For some of you, you might be considering doing that. And, you know, whatever it is your goal here is, which is going to be many different people, remember that whatever direction you want to take, whether it's towards another person, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your stability, whether it's a spiritual quest, or a spiritual path, or business venture, or finding balance, progressing towards whatever you are progressing to, it comes down to your thoughts, creating your reality. So in order to be aware of how your thoughts create your reality, you might want to consider having a mindfulness practice. And, you know, it's not that complicated, everyone. It's simply taking a moment to slow down enough to note what you're thinking as you're processing. It becomes more emotionally intelligent over time, like your psychic abilities or your financial or physical strengths. You have to build the muscle, right? You have to flex. You have to put in time and effort. And we have to do that in life, period. Nobody escapes having to do some work in life. And if you're not interested in self-development, well, I am surprised you are still listening to my reading. Thank you if you are. Feel free to give it a like. So, you know, it's like, you don't have to even like, it's about thinking about your thoughts without making judgment. And when you are able to not pass as much judgment upon yourself, you don't pass judgment and project onto others as much. And yeah, the Sun card just came out. This is how you find happiness. Because once you can regulate your thoughts, you can understand and process your emotions all in a balanced, healthy way. And this applies to everybody, not just people who have suffered, not just people who have trauma, not just people who have extreme life stories, not just people who are more sensitive than other people. This is for everybody. Everybody this message applies to. And there's a reason that meditation is also spoken on for everyone. Chariot in reverse. It's about removing obstacles in your mind, okay? And when you can note your thoughts, you can use discernment. You end up adapting the skill of discernment, which means you can make better decisions for yourself, which means you can steer and navigate and manifest with your thoughts and become the magician if you are interested in learning about manifestation. Yes, I do talk about that a lot on my channel. All the laws of the universe. And as I'm saying that, there is a red hawk swooping above me, flying in close, and they are some of my spiritual guides. This one's coming in close. So some of you are getting closer with your perspective changes. Higher perspectives, you know? Yep, the star card, healing. It's about healing. It's about feeling like you can really shine at something. Because whatever it is you're striving for, it's like you want to be healed, you want to shine your light, you want to help heal others, some of you, not all of you. This is also about manifesting destiny with the Magician and the Star card right next to each other over the Sun card. This is, yeah, major mind shifts that can happen. You can quantumly leap here if you choose to overcome your obstacles. And we also have the Magician card here twice. For some of you, you might actually be a spiritual practitioner who works in a coven. That's not for everybody, but with the double King of Wands influence, I feel like that might be prevalent for some of you. Some of you might already be a high spiritual authority who is teaching other people how to do this as well. If so, I tip my hat to you and say thank you for being a part of the quest. I'm honored to read for you. Some of you have been able to create a lot of happiness for others by making them the star, so some of you are in a position of great authority. You're able to remove obstacles and make clear decisions to positively affect other people's lives and bring them great joy. Some of you don't even know that. You're just figuring that out. And again, if you understand your thoughts and you know how to navigate your reality in a positive way, not by trying to control things through fear. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So Knight of Swords. Anyways, you can really express your truth. You can come forward on your dreams. You can pursue and you can speak what you want to speak and say what you want to say more clearly, more intelligently. This is also a message coming in for somebody. We also, if you remember, we got the Eight of Wands down below way earlier in the reading, and that was connected to the Queen of Pentacles as far as somebody wanting to express something to a Queen of Pentacles. If that's you, maybe you want to tell a friend about this knowledge, these new perspectives that you're learning. Because that could represent a friendship as well, a stable, nurturing friend who, you know, is comfortable in life. Maybe not like the Empress, but she's right below the Empress. And again, she applied. It could be a man, it could be a trans person, it could be a non-binary person. Queen of Wands just came out. Now we have a divine counterpart match with the King and Queen of Wands. So that is a second match. And actually, you know, we got both these divine counterpart matches. Was it the Divine Union reading? Yeah, that was from a few weeks to a month back, was the Divine Union, and that was the first love reading that Spirit drew out of me. But there's some really tender moments in that reading. I definitely check it out. So some of you do want to communicate to somebody that you see is on your level on this spiritual quest. For those of you that are spiritual leaders in your own right, you want to create magic with somebody else, like these double magician. Maybe you want to bring somebody into the fold and it could change their life. I don't know what that means. It could also be something more less magnificent. But I don't know. I mean, fire is really impactful. It's really fierce and passionate. And wow, this is the world. This is everything. Could also represent being put into a position of power and status. For some of you, you could be graduating to that with the Star card and the World. With the Eight of Wands, this could have to do with social media, public platforms. But then I see the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. I think that might be a blockage for some of you. Like, you have to stop investing in things that aren't working out for you. So that kind of brings us back to the beginning of the reading. All right. The beginning of the reading, we started with the Six of Cups, right? And we were talking about how you've gone through this situation, this past, whatever this was, person, relationship, childhood love, inner child needs, whatever it is that you have gone through, that you have fought for with the Five of Wands, right? Come out of a lack mindset. We had the Six of Pentacles upright here, so like, you know what you want to give to, how you want to give to it, or you desire that, and you've had to put down these investments. So that's looping back to that group of people there. It's like, okay, maybe you want to shine your light, maybe you want to be a star, maybe you want to be seen, and you want to create magic, and you're ready to stop investing in things that get in the way. So let's get a little bit of advice for you. We have the Queen of Cups. Interesting. That takes us into the other divine counterpart, except the opposite, because I was sensing more masculine energies. Now I'm sensing more feminine. So it could be about embracing more divine feminine principles, or you know that you want to invest in this Queen of Cups archetype, this unconditional love, this nurturer. Somebody or something you really want to create with. The Empress in reverse. With the Death card. For some of you, side message, this could be about wanting to strive to be an Empress, which again, the Empress is all four queens. Check out my Tarot Talk and Astro Tea playlist for the short 8-part Empress series I did, talking about the astrology of the Empress card and the woo-woo behind it. Some of you might want to check that out. So some of you, it's like you're learning how to be more unconditionally loving and nurturing. And again, you can be a divine masculine trying to bring into balance your divine feminine. And the Emperor is the ultimate highest level divine masculine. The kings are below that. And then the Empress is the highest, all queens. She is the divine feminine archetype. So either some of you are trying to establish this within yourselves and become more unconditionally loving and expressive with your love. Some of you may have a North Node in Cancer placement. I'd look into that if I were you, or you can book a personal reading with me. So like, you could be learning how to be more of the mother archetype, and if it is a North Node placement I'm sensing for some of you, it could be that in the past you were more of the father archetype, more of the breadwinner, more of the nurturer in the financial sense and what you had to offer physically, and now you're learning to more receive and give in a different way, and that kind of ties in with the rest. So for some of you, that's a side message. For the more feminine sides of you, the others here, possibly the Queen of Pentacles archetype here, maybe you're learning more about how to nurture yourself with the Queen of Cups here. I think in order to find balance with yourself, you are learning how to really love yourself. And wow, this whole time I've been saying Queen of Cups, and you're not going to believe this, it was actually the King of Cups. Now it's the Curandera of water. I say that's weird because we've been getting this card a lot. And now we have double King of Cups. So again, this could also be another part of the collective that are more of the queer community. So that could represent two masculines for some of you, two water signs, or it could represent, again, like the King of Wands here, double emphasis on the emotional nature of the creative nature. Some of you represent stronger water and some of you represent more fire. Those are the two dominant energies in this reading. So I find that interesting because I don't usually mix cards up like that. Yeah, there's psychic interference sometimes, and sometimes spirit will say the wrong word through me. But that was intentional. It was like, some of you are the King of Cups, but you're learning to be the Queen of Cups. Does that make sense? You're learning to tap into more the feminine side. Because again, the King of Cups is a little bit more stoic, where they feel deep emotions, but they don't really express them. Because that card has both air and water representations in it. Whereas the Queen of Cups is, I believe, the double water card. Some of you are also learning how to cope with overwhelming emotions. It's something that has made you not feel very comfortable with the Empress in reverse, like you don't have enough, like you can't create, you can't live your dream life. Some of you have also felt like you can't have an Empress archetype because you're learning to stabilize your emotions that are very overwhelming. This is a huge change for you with the Death card. Now, this is the second time we've had the Death card come up in this reading, different deck, except it was in reverse. So now it's upright. So some of you have just come through a great change, and this is everything you've already realized. And for those of you that are in that position, split the deck to the Two of Wands and the Seven of Wands. 27, make a wish. That's a synchronistic number. 27 is also a legendary number. So maybe you feel like this is your last chance to really shine for something. I say that because, you know, the 27 Club, I don't know why that's coming out. James Dean is also coming up, like devil may care kind of attitude with the double King of Wands. That, and this is fire. That could represent that archetype. Maybe you didn't think you were going to make it past 27 for some of you because of how fiery and active you are. That's for somebody. Two of Wands is about manifesting something, also choosing a path to take quick action on. Having two different destinies, possibly. Deciding what you want to fight for with the Seven of Wands. For some of you, it is this Queen of Pentacles figure because the Queen of Pentacles was underneath the Two of Wands. For some of you, you really want to move passionately towards this stable feminine energy. And that, again, could be within yourself, could be somebody else. So, yeah, this is a huge collective energy outpouring we have here. There's been many different energies we've tapped into today. Definitely see that Spirit is challenging me. So, I think for some of the fiery people here who just kind of took the reading back over, I might add, with their energy, you're trying to decide if what you want to fight for here. I don't feel like it's defensive. I feel it's more you're deciding how you want to manifest this energy of the Queen of Pentacles, whether it's a person. And look, people, here's a side note. Did you know that if you try to use manifestation techniques to manifest another person, that is the exact same thing as casting a love spell? Did you know that? Yeah. 9 of Swords. and the Ten of Wands in reverse. That's how you end up with some problems, let me tell you. Like, that's some huge self-sabotage and burdens you do not need to put on your shoulders, if some of you needed to hear that. Because we all know, if you are a practitioner or you're learning about the mystical arts, that you never cast spells for particular people, right? You cast spells to embody the kind of energy you want that attracts the kind of energy you want, but you don't specifically try to manifest people. And I know the manifestation is very trendy these days. And it really is just witchcraft. I mean, everything we say is witchcraft. Everything is spells. And some people are not going to like that I'm going to say this, but even prayers are spells. When you set intention and you create with your reality, and when your words create your thoughts and you take action on your thoughts, you actively create your reality, right? Right. Again, masculine principles is air and fire, okay? So air represents mind, fire represents action and spirit. You combine the two elements there, and you get the King of Wands archetype. Some of you know very well how to manifest. This is more for those of you that are still learning. Yeah, and then we pull out the King of Swords archetype. The King of Swords card. Wow, and then the King of Pentacles in reverse. I believe we have all the kings on the table now. So we've got an almost emperor energy here. Somebody who is almost an emperor. Because there's 3 of 4 kings upright. Looks like you're learning about stability here. And it could have to do with this Queen of Pentacles archetype. Either somebody is inspiring a person you know to be more stable, loving, nurturing, and less fiery, or you have seen how your actions have affected others and created instability in their life, possibly through your words or how you think about things with the King of Swords. 3 of Cups in reverse. For a small select few of you, it is through third-party relationships. I wasn't going to accept that card, and I don't usually read that card as so, but I did pick up on the energy. And again, I'm not placing judgment on anybody, and I'm also not coming after anybody, okay? And I'm not saying it's okay either. I'm a neutral party here. There's a reason they say don't shoot the messenger. Okay? If you feel anger, go find a productive way to channel that, okay? Yeah, 9 of Pentacles. Alright, so this is about independence. Maybe you haven't felt very independent and you rebelled through other people. That's for somebody. I don't need to read much more into that energy. Thank you. Yeah, 6 of Cups in reverse. It's putting an end to old ways of doing things that used to make you feel nostalgic. And also for some of you, ending relationships from the past that you know are only causing harm at this point. And remember, if you're not living your truth, you're causing harm to yourself, and it can become toxic. Even soulmate relationships that are of the highest caliber can become karmic relationships. So for some of you, you are deciding to end a relationship from the past that you know you have outgrown, one that has kept you from taking action on your dreams and goals. Yeah, cause self-sabotage with the 5 of Swords. And I'm losing my voice, so if somebody does not want me to go any deeper with that, I'm going to respect that. I'm going to have some tea, one moment. I don't keep track of time during these readings, that's why they're a quest. So again, if you hung in, leave me a heart emoji in the comments, or feel free to share your observations, experience, thoughts, hopes for the collective, if you have any. And let's pull some cosmic energy now, okay? I was thinking of doing an intuitive oracle card, but since I suspect this has gone on for a very long time, I'm not going to go into the oracle today except for these cosmic energy oracle cards. I just pulled the harmony card, understanding card, and the blessing. Harmony is the beautiful melody in relationships. Understanding is the key to deep connections. Blessings are gifts from the universe. Receive and share them. Well, this brings us back to equal give and take. Again, harmony and receiving and sharing, that's an exchange. I'm seeing the Six of Pentacles again here. So this is about equal give and take. This is about harmony within, understanding what gives you harmony, what keeps you in balance, so you can be a blessing to others and receive blessings. The understanding card, which I take a picture of these and leave them in the community tab, so if you want to check out some of the cards from the reading, they will also be the pinned image for this recording. I'll share it, but the understanding card here in the middle, which really, this is literally the key to understanding, because there is a key sticking into a heart, right? So yeah, understanding is the key here to your harmony and blessing. And again, going inward with the mind, meditating, learning mindfulness, these are all ways you can establish understanding, realizing what gives you harmony. And also to slow down long enough to be grateful for your blessings. Also, some of you just really deeply desire to share your blessings with somebody who you know is going to bring harmony and understanding to your life. So for those of you that are a little more laid back and don't have as many, I don't mean to sound insensitive, but complications in your life, so possibly some of you have been single for a while and you've had time to, like, you know, get settled in life. Maybe that represents more the Queen of Pentacles archetype in this reading. And again, you don't have to be a woman or feminine. It's just an energy, right? Maybe those of you that this is kind of, you're kind of more a quieter part of this group here, I can tell you, because you have established harmony and understanding within yourself, and you know what you have to give and take. So for those of you that are already there, cool. You know, we often hear about all the craziness in the world. It's like, how do we talk about peace? Most people are striving for it. They don't actually know. So hey, if you've got any guidance or wisdom of your own and you're coming from that perspective, please do share it in the comments. Also, thank you for holding space for everybody in this reading. If you made it that far and you do represent a more balanced, stable, grounded energy, thank you for being a quiet leader yourself. It is much appreciated. And now I'm feeling the support, so thank you. Whoa, I just had several cards try to fly out. And the card that was on the top was prayer. Prayer is a dialogue with the universe. Express your wishes. So that brings us back to manifesting, creating our reality through our thoughts, through our words, and then taking action. Some of you are praying for a blessing. Some of you are praying for understanding. Some of you are praying for harmony. And remember that when we are grateful for what we have, we create more things to be grateful for. So in order to manifest, you must let go. Once you've imagined what you want and you've worked on your thoughts and you've created harmony within yourself, you naturally start attracting these things. And while it's good to pray on what you want or set intentions or cast spells, however you want to call it, it's all the same thing. It requires understanding what you're praying for. And if you are in a more generous position, like this Queen of Pentacles, or you are in a position of power as a spiritual leader, Perhaps you pray for other people's blessings, for their own evolution and understanding, that other people can find peace. And if you do, you know, as a spiritual guide and an example, sometimes when I watch readings, and I tend to stay with the more spiritual leaders in the community, um, the Hedge Witch is a great example of that, by the way. If you have not checked out her channel, check her out. She is a phenomenal reader from, I think, South Africa. Yeah, check out the Hedge Witch. Yeah, so like when you're watching readings and sometimes when you feel like some of it hits, but the reading's not really for you, but you feel drawn to stick with it, perhaps the divine, and whoever the divine is to you, it could be some primal force within yourself, just an act of human kindness, really. Wish those people well that are struggling. And I'm not saying be a prayer warrior or, you know, like spend all your time, you know, of service to others. My cat agrees. Pardon, little miss. Listen here, I'm busy. One moment. I think it's time to wrap up this reading. So yeah, let that be the last message here. If you are able to think positively for others, do. Just don't try to put any specifics on anybody, because then you're just projecting your own wishes and hopes and thoughts on other people. Alright. Got any questions or you want a personal, feel free. Otherwise, hit the notification bell after you subscribe. That way you don't miss my updates. I will share all the side message video links to this extended, lengthy reading in the community tab as I edit them and cut them and update them. So let's all take one last breath and call our energy back to us. Ready? Gonna ring my bell. Thank you for joining. This is Ellie, signing off.